All right, back here with number 3. Which function is equivalent to x squared minus 7x plus 12? I'm going to show you 2 ways to do this. The correct way, quote, the correct way, right? That would be like this. I'm going to do letter A right here. And then you start doing full method. X times x is x squared. X times a positive 4 is positive 4x. Negative 3 times x is negative 3x. And then a negative 3 times 4, that's a negative 12. Now if you notice right here in the middle, you can fix this. That's a positive 4x, and that's a negative 3x. So I'm going to bring down the x squared. I'm going to work the middle now. Positive 4x minus 3x. Well, 4x minus 3x, that's a positive 1x, because 4 minus 3 is 1, with a minus 12. Now this 1 right here, you don't have to write it, but that's the way it looks, right? So you're trying to see, does that match what we need there? No, it doesn't. So then that's the wrong answer. Okay, that's called the full method. And you can do it that way, you can do all of them that way, and that's okay. Now the shortcut method I'm going to show you. Okay? The shortcut method. In letter B, get this number right here, a positive 6 and a positive 2. And I want you to add them. 6, a positive 6, and a positive 2. Well, what's 6 plus 2? 6 plus 2 is 8. And then I want you to come over here and I want you to check the middle term. Okay? I want you to check this one. Is that a positive 8? No, it's not a positive 8. So then stop. Stop wasting your time using that or doing that question. Let me try letter C now. Try my shortcut method. Okay. We got negative 3 and a negative 4. Now a negative 3 and a negative 4. Negative 3 minus 4 will give you a negative 7. It's like you're adding 2 negatives. You add 2 negatives, you add them and keep the negative sign. Okay? So negative 3 plus negative 4 is negative 7. And then you come back over here and you check. Is negative 7 what I need here in the middle? Yes, it is. Now, before we get all excited and choose the answer, you have to double check. Just double check. What's the harm in doing one more test? What's the last test? The last test is going to be get those same 2 numbers. Negative 3 and a negative 4. And then instead of adding them, you're going to multiply them. Negative 3 times negative 4, that's going to give you a positive 12 when you multiply them. And now I want you to go check. Is that the last number? Right here. Yes, it's the last number. And then that means it's perfect. It passed both tests. That's why that's the answer. Now, if you're wondering, sir, I'm not going to do that all the time. Well, this is why it's kind of helpful to do that. Because right here on letter D, if you get negative 6 and a negative 1, if you add negative 6 and negative 1, it gives you negative 7 also, just like letter C did. But if you get negative 6 and you multiply negative 6 with a negative 1, like the second test I told you all to do, it gives you a positive 6. But a positive 6 is not the last number here. It's supposed to be a positive 12. That's why D is majorly incorrect. All right, and number 4. Which expression is a factor of x squared minus 2x minus 15? Now, I'm going to show you, quote, the correct way to do this, and then I'm going to show you a shortcut method, okay? This is called factoring. We want to find 2 numbers that when you multiply, you get a negative 15, which is right here. But when you add those 2 numbers, you get that number there, a negative 2. Okay. So what you do is start thinking about how do you get 15 when you multiply. I know you need negative 15, but let's just wait on that. 1 times what gives you 15? I know it says negative, but we'll come back to the negatives in a little bit. Well, 1 times 15. Then you come over here and you do 1 plus 15. Does that give you 2? I know you need negative 2, but let's just hold on the negatives. No. Okay, what happens if you do 1 minus 15? Is that how you get a 2? No. So then those numbers are not worth your time. Next, 2. Does 2 go into 15? No. So those numbers are not worth your time. What about 3? 3 times what gives you 15? 5. I know we need a negative, but we'll come back to it. Okay? What happens if I do 3 plus 5? Do I get a 2? No. What happens if I did a 3 minus 5? Does that give me a 2? Yes. Actually gives me the correct answer right away. Okay, now that I know that it gives me a 2, I can start playing with the signs, okay? Because I know it's either got to be 3 times a negative 5, or I have to know it's going to be a negative 3 times a positive 5. And you check it over here. You do 3 plus a negative 5, or is it going to be negative 3 plus 5? Which one of those gives you a negative 2? This gives you a negative 2. Which means your answer would be x with a positive 3 and x with a negative 5. And those are your answers. You come over here and you look for them. The only one we have on here is going to be letter B. And that's called factoring. But you got to be real good with multiplication. What happens if you're not good with multiplication? Why is letter B the correct answer? Well, this is why. If you can't do factoring, then this is the way you have to do it. Okay? You're going to change this to a negative 5. Change this to a positive 5. Change this to a positive 3. And change this to a negative 15. And then now you have options. You plug them in. Let me show you why A is not the right answer, okay? If you put negative 5 in right here, anywhere you see X, I'm going to plug in a negative 5. That would be negative 5 squared minus 2 times the negative 5 minus 15. Okay. Negative 5 squared, that means 25. Then you got a negative 2 times a negative 5. My pen's not working, what the heck? There you go. It's 5. Right there. Negative 2 times negative 5, that's a positive 10. And then you bring down the negative 15. If you were to add these numbers together, you're trying to figure out, do you get 0? It does not give you 0. 25 plus 10 is 35, and 35 minus 10 is not 0. That's why that's not the right answer, okay? But we knew that already because I factored it, so then we know that's wrong. So we know the answer is this one. So if you put a positive 5 in here now, 5 squared minus 2 times 5 minus 15. 5 squared is 25, minus 2 times 5 is 10, and then bring down the minus 15. Yeah, 25 minus 10 is 15, and 15 minus 15, that gives you 0. That's why this is the answer, because it gave me 0. Okay, and that's how you do this question. If you don't know how to factor, pick one of the methods and learn it.